20 students die at the same time, but at the funeral, one detail shocks everyone. It was the kind of morning parents dream about. Bright sunlight, a gentle breeze, the sound of children laughing. At Brightway Elementary School, the playground buzzed with excitement. It was the long-awaited Health and Fitness Day, the school's first big event since COVID restrictions had lifted. 20 second graders, all dressed in matching navy shorts and crisp white polo shirts with the school emblem on their chests, were running relays, sipping from water bottles, and cheering on classmates. Parents lined the edges of the court with cameras, watching proudly. No one noticed the silence creeping in until it was too late. At 10:17 a.m., little Sophia Dean collapsed near the jungle gym. 2 teachers rushed to her thinking she'd fainted. 30 seconds later, Noah Briggs dropped to his knees mid-run, gasping before his body gave out. Then Lily, then Elijah, then almost every child in Ms. Carter's second-grade class. Panic erupted. One teacher screamed so loud her voice cracked. Parents bolted from the sidelines. Some thought it was a chemical attack. Others thought heat stroke. But it wasn't hot. These were healthy children. Emergency calls flooded dispatch. Principal Howell tried performing CPR on a lifeless 7-year-old girl while sobbing through clenched teeth. A father screamed his daughter's name so hard he collapsed from hyperventilation. 20 children, all unresponsive, most with their eyes closed as if sleeping, all from the same class. By the time paramedics arrived, the playground looked like a battlefield. 12 ambulances lined the school gates, stretchers, oxygen masks, but none of it mattered. Doctors pronounced all 20 dead on arrival, 20 in one day. The entire nation stopped. News stations broke into programming. Mass pediatric deaths at Brightway Elementary. No one could process what had happened. Days of confusion followed. Then came the truth. A construction crew had replaced the outdoor water pipes feeding the playground fountains just 4 days earlier. But instead of flushing the system, a worker had mistakenly connected a storage tank filled with ethylene glycol, a highly toxic chemical used in industrial antifreeze. The clear, tasteless liquid had slowly filled the school's outdoor hydration stations. When the children filled their bottles that morning, they were drinking poison. One sip, just one sip was enough. Their bodies tried to reject it, but children don't always complain right away. And by the time symptoms showed up, dizziness, rapid heartbeat, nausea, it was too late. 20 young lives gone. The construction company was shut down. The foreman arrested. The school board issued apologies. Investigations launched, but for the families left behind, no amount of justice could unbury what had been taken. In one home, a mother smashed every cup in her kitchen, screaming, "Why did I make her drink water?" In another, a father sat beside his son's empty bed, holding the same bottle he'd sent him to school with, still half full, laced with death. A teacher tried to end her life 3 days later. She survived, but would never teach again. And the town, it became a monument of grief. Empty backpacks lined the school fence, photos of smiling second graders, white ribbons on every tree, 20 names written on the pavement in chalk. Then came the funeral. All 20 families agreed to a joint ceremony, a mass goodbye. The schoolyard was transformed. White flowers covered every inch. 20 small, identical white caskets lined the basketball court where the children had once played tag and hopscotch. Thousands came. People who had never even met the children wept like they were their own. The mayor spoke. The governor sent a letter. The president offered condolences. But nothing could prepare anyone for the moment when the parents were invited one by one to kneel by their child's coffin and say goodbye. Jenna Ward's knees gave out as she held her daughter Lily's hand. "She asked me to braid her hair this morning," she sobbed. "I told her I didn't have time." A father beat his fist against the wood of the casket, screaming, "I yelled at him for forgetting his backpack. That's the last thing I said to him." The sounds that filled the schoolyard that day weren't just crying. They were howls, raw, primal grief. A grief that only exists when your entire world is folded into a 4-foot box and you're forced to walk away from it. But just before the priest stepped forward to begin the final prayer, one mother noticed something inside her daughter's casket pocket, a folded paper she hadn't seen before, and what she found inside it would leave the entire funeral in shock. Jenna Ward stood frozen beside her daughter Lily's small white casket, her trembling hands lifting the folded paper from the shirt pocket of the school uniform. Her vision blurred from tears, but something about the way it was tucked, carefully, purposefully, made her pause. It wasn't something she packed. Her heart pounded as she slowly unfolded the paper. Crayon drawings, a bright yellow sun, stick figures holding hands, a tree with a tire swing, and at the very top, written in big uneven letters, "Dear me in the future, I hope Mommy always smiles when she sees me." Jenna dropped to her knees. Her scream shattered the silence, echoing across the schoolyard like a thunderclap. Parents and guests turned, startled. 2 volunteers rushed toward her, but she didn't need help standing. She needed help breathing. "She wrote this," Jenna gasped, holding the paper up. "She wrote this for herself, for me." The officiant stopped the prayer. All eyes turned toward Jenna, now clutching the letter to her chest, sobbing. Then another parent stepped forward. Mrs. Dean, Sophia's mother, looked pale as she reached into her daughter's casket. She too pulled out a folded piece of paper. Her hand shook as she read aloud. "When I'm big, I want to be a nurse like my auntie. I will take care of sad people and hug them when they cry." She collapsed forward, whispering, "She always said that." She really meant it. Within minutes, chaos turned into quiet revelation. Parent after parent reached into their children's pockets or shirt folds, and each time out came a folded note or a drawing or a single line scribbled in pencil. Each child had left something, a message, a dream, a tiny glimpse of the life they thought they still had ahead. Eli wrote, "When I'm 20, I'll build a tree house for my kids." Grace wrote, "If something scary happens, I'll hold my friend's hand." Tyler wrote, "I want to be funny like Daddy." Tears flowed like rivers. The crowd, 100 strong, wept openly. Even those who had no children of their own found themselves kneeling by the caskets, holding each grieving parent. The principal, Mr. Howell, stepped forward in stunned disbelief. He hadn't authorized the letters. He hadn't even known they existed. But Ms. Carter did. She had been the student's homeroom teacher and the one person too devastated to attend the funeral. But now, with the discovery of the letters, Mr. Howell opened an email she had sent the morning of the service, unread in his inbox until now. The subject line read, "Please read this if I don't have the strength to come." The email explained everything. 1 week before the tragedy, Ms. Carter had assigned a class project. Write a letter to your future self. Tell them what you hope your life will be like. They were meant to be sealed and returned to the children in 10 years, at high school graduation. After the poisoning, Miss Carter couldn't bear to keep them. So the night before the funeral, heartbroken and trembling, she visited the mortuary and slipped each child's letter into their uniform. One final act of love from a teacher who blamed herself for something that wasn't her fault. Mr. Howell stepped onto the microphone, his voice cracking. These letters were meant to be opened years from now by young adults full of dreams, but today they become something else, not memories of death. His throat caught, but proof that these children lived with hope, with innocence, and with love. The entire crowd stood, then sat again, and one by one, each child's letter was read aloud by a parent, a sibling, a neighbor, a friend. Through sobs and whispers and quiet sobbing breaths, the schoolyard filled not with silence, but with voices of 20 children echoing their dreams into the world. Each one became more unbearable than the last. I hope I never forget how much I love my family. When I grow up, I'll take care of Mommy like she takes care of me. Even if I get scared, I will still try. A nurse fainted. A news reporter put down his camera and cried openly. No one left untouched. When the last letter was read, the children's chairs were placed in a wide circle around the caskets. On each chair sat a framed drawing, a stuffed animal, a favorite book. The crowd stood again, and without prompting, a spontaneous chant began to rise. We will remember, we will remember, we will remember, 20 times, one for each child. Then silence, and finally a single dove was released for each little soul, each one carrying the weight of a letter no parent ever wanted to read too soon. That night, every station ran the same headline. They never got to grow up, but they left us their dreams. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.